Welcome to episode 5 of Blow Up Your Video. Yes, I'm counting those first two videos that are named something completely different, and I'm even counting the Night of the Libras review, which technically isn't even a review at all. Or very dignified. But I'm counting them. Don't like it? Do something about it. Can't do anything about it? I thought so. On with the review. In 1972, Francis Ford Coppola directed a crime drama film based on the 1969 novel written by Mario Puzo, who also helped him write the screenplay. I'm speaking, of course, of the mafia film of all mafia films, The Godfather. The movie opens with the wedding of Don Corleone's daughter, Connie. Everyone's asking him for requests because
no Sicilian can refuse any request on his daughter's wedding day.
Of course, these are no ordinary favors, since he happens to be head of the Corleone mafia family. But just because the family business is organized crime doesn't mean they don't know how to have a good time. Jeez, and I thought my Italian family was bigger than most people's.
Madonna, if this was somebody else's wedding, sfortunato.
Hey, Polly! I got two gabagool! Gabagool!
Ah, it's the boy, you stupid jerk!
Oh, so this is where pop culture got its Italian stereotypes from. Good to know. 3 years of Italian class and I have no idea what she's saying. Then Johnny shows up. He's a big Italian celebrity star type guy, and he has his godfather Corleone to thank for all his fame.
How'd he do that?
My father made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
What was that?
Luca Brazzi held a gun to his head, and my father assured him that either his brains or his signature would be on a contract.
Glad your pride now? Huh? Happy you just couldn't let it be? Apparently he showed up to ask him for a favor, which is to get him the role in a movie. Don agrees, saying that to convince the head of the studio to give him the part.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Be aware, that line is to this movie what with great power comes with great responsibility is to Spider-Man. Robert Duvall and his hair we missed out on in THX 1138 go to try and coerce the head of the studio, but he won't give Johnny the part, which it turns out is because he stole his girlfriend or something stupid like that.
By the way, I admire your pictures very much.
We're gonna do horrible, horrible things to you. He shows him around his lavish mansion, shows off his beautiful prized horse, and after everything, he just can't be talked into giving Johnny that role. Duvall is not pleased. Wow, he must sleep like a rock to not notice guys breaking into his bedroom and putting a horse head into his sheets. The family then has a meeting with someone called the Turk, being backed by a rival family. He wants financing and protection from them for their heroin distributing, but the Don refuses. The Turk is not pleased. Have you even held a gun before? I mean, not that I would do any better in this situation, but he's supposed to be in a mob family. Come on! Michael, played by Al Pacino, is the only son that's out of the family business, but this assassination attempt makes him get involved. By the way, how much of a badass is the Don for surviving all this?
He's still alive. They hit him with 5 shots and he's still alive.
This was a triumph. I'm making a note here, huge success. It's hard to overstate my satisfaction.
I'm going now.
What time are you going to be home tonight?
I don't know, probably late.
Don't forget the cannoli.
Let's excuse some stereotypes in this film, especially that one, because cannolis are delicious.
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
Okay, that's pushing it. Then Michael goes to visit his father in the hospital. It's set in the late 40s, and I gotta say, looking at this hospital, I can see why anyone who went there back then was afraid they were going to die. It's like Pacino just stepped into The Shining. I mean, good lord, they can't light it a bit better? Eventually, Michael gets involved with the family business, and they plan to take out the police chief who's being paid off by a rival family.
Craps out last night, he wants a meeting today.
What'd he say?
What did he say?
Please stop that. Michael plans to meet with the guys they want killed and do the deed himself with a gun they'll hide beforehand in the bathroom, and oh my God, his brother Sonny, his shoulders, they have hair on them. Good lord. Let's move on. After he kills them, they hide Michael in Sicily, where he meets a random village girl and is stricken by her beauty. And apparently amnesia, because he already has a girlfriend.
Now, there are people who pay a lot of money for that information.
But then your daughter would lose a father.
Instead of gaining a husband.
I repeat, already has a girlfriend.
E come si chiama vostra figlia?
Oh, that's lovely. They get married and everything's all fine and dandy, and then they have the honeymoon and, I can't... Is... They're the same color as her skin. Like... Huh. After Sonny's brutally murdered, having recovered from the assassination attempt, the Don calls a meeting of all the major mob bosses. He's actually not out for blood over his son's death. However, he does give these conditions.
My youngest son. And if some unlucky accident should befall him, if he should get shot in the head by a police officer, or if he should hang himself in his jail cell, or if he's struck by a bolt of lightning, then I'm going to blame some of the people in this room.
Bolt of lightning? What? Did he invite Zeus to the meeting? After Pacino's wife gets blown up, he comes back to America and finds his old girlfriend.
How long have you been back?
I've been back a year.
A year? This movie just all of a sudden skipped a year out of nowhere?
Longer than that, I think.
Oh, come on! Long movie short, it skips ahead again like 3 or 4 years because he's got a kid now, and then his dad dies, he takes over the business, and basically kills everyone that was in his family's way, even his sister's husband, the father of his godchild. His sister was obviously a little bit peeved by this, and his wife wanted to know if he really killed him.
Michael, is it true?
Don't ask me about my business, Kate.
She's been asking about the business before you were even in it. Since the very beginning of this film, she was prying about the business. Are you honestly this surprised?
Is it true?
No.
And with that blatant lie, the movie comes to a quite literal close. This was a good movie. Yeah. I mean, it single-handedly popularized the mafia movie genre. It's got great acting. Come on, Brando, Duvall, Pacino. Come on, you can't go wrong. And also, it actually didn't have a lot of swearing at all. I mean, there was some violence, actually not as much as you'd expect in a mafia film, probably. I mean, of today's standards, there's got to be blood all over the place. But this one, it was, the deaths weren't all that horribly gruesome. Actually, swearing-wise, I don't think there was a lot of swearing at all. I mean, some racial slurs here and there, but come on, it was the 40s.
I don't care how many Dago, Guinea, what greaseball goombas come out of the woodwork.
I'm German-Irish.
Well, that's it for this week's Blow Up Your Video. Join us next time for a man. Dolomite is his name. Fucking up motherfuckers is his game. See you then, folks. You never have anything important to say. You're either insulting me or... well, that's all you do. Screw you. Huh. I wonder what that means.